What's up, everybody? It's HorrorDeconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, but mostly on YouTube with your host Komp and
Crumbled Up T-Shirt Boy.
And today's film is
Last Shift, 2014.
Last Shift, 2014. A rookie cop's first shift alone. Should have been first shit alone in the last night of closing police.
They're new to this. They're a rookie to shitting.
Of a closing police station turns into a living nightmare. Directed by Anthony DeBlasi. Written by Anthony DeBlasi and Scott Poyle. Starring Julia Harkavy, Joshua McKell, Hank Stone, and a bunch of other people. So, Danny, why'd you pick Last Shift?
You know, I read an article. You know, I'm always trying to find new movies I haven't seen or whatever.
Don't read articles anymore.
The article, like, well, it had comments under it, and people like, it was good.
Like, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, no, I typed it in sometimes. I've had some real success with it.
But Danny, you remember people are stupid, right?
I know.
Okay, so
but,
you read this article, what did it say?
I read this article, and it was like, oh, it's surprisingly good, and people, like, on the comment section were like, yeah, it was great. Like,
but in the article, did it have fine print, and it said, we're lying, or...
Maybe. Maybe so, I should break out that article again.
No, I understand. Listen, there's plenty of movies that I bet you we've picked randomly all the worst movies and the good ones. We just haven't seen them yet because we haven't.
This is not the worst movie I've ever seen. By any means.
It's not. It's got a good 40 minutes out of an hour and 27 minutes, but it's not a horrible movie. Like there's some genuine like okay. So break down.
I know what my problem is with it, and it's not that it's a horrible movie.
It's just a female lead, right? Is that what it is? You just like where's the beef?
Women.
Okay, so let's get into. You say that with a caveat. Listen, people, he doesn't really hate women. So he just hates women that are breathing. Just kidding, folks. Let's just make the jokes worst. No, we're not. Okay, so explain what this movie's about. What happens in the first half an hour of this film? Last Shift.
There is a cop whose dad was killed by this cult or something, and she's doing the last shift of their haunted police station before they move to a new one.
Yeah, we don't know half of that information at the beginning. The first half an hour, I think, is actually pretty good.
Oh, it's her first day. She's doing the last shift of a closed down police station.
Yeah, this is suffering from what was that movie with the fucking monster that chases and eats people in this big truck, directed by a pedophile? Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers, yeah. Well, that's a good movie, though.
I know. No. Listen, the first half an hour of that movie is great. Then it's like, the rest
I mean, the director's taste in women and boys and whatever is not mine, but he's a good director.
He did let the woman live, though, but he let the young shirtless boy get killed at the end.
I love that scene when he kidnaps him too, and she just can't stop him. It's like impossible.
He was right in that scene jerking off. So Last Shift, this first half an hour of this film, we meet the actress. The lead actress is actually, I think, very good in this movie. She's better than the movie itself. Julia Harkavy plays Jessica Lauren. She's very... but
the script, they make her so stupid.
Yeah, she's a very beautiful woman, but they understate her beauty, which is a good thing, because she's just sort of a cop on the job. So she does have nice.
Well, cops can't be attractive in general, but
hey, but you hear cops are like, in real life, cops are like fucking each other every 5 minutes. And
she's been in The Walking Dead. Apparently, I don't remember.
Who hasn't been in I'm sure you and I have been on that show. We don't even remember.
It's true.
She's been like 900,000 characters on that show. So she shows up at this closing police station. She walks in, and then her chief of whoever it is, he's like a walking skeleton. He's a very scary looking
His voice is like, hey, I told you not to walk away.
Yeah, because it's very confusing because when she first walks in, this guy's like, fucking shit, fucking, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Because he's talking to something off screen and we don't know what it is. I'm like, is he talking to a ghost? Wait, but there's still somebody actually in holding in the back, which doesn't make any fucking sense. Apparently that guy's been in holding the whole night.
Who, the homeless guy?
Yeah, that's why the guy was saying fucking shit in the beginning of the film.
Yeah, but then he was in the lobby.
That's why the movie's supernatural. He gets out 3 times, remember? Because it's ghosts fucking around with the
I thought the time when it was him getting down on his knees and they turn around with his eyes, I thought that was a hallucination. I didn't think it was really him.
Here's the thing with this movie. Who cares? So, she goes and sits down at the desk. The guy says,
that's a good point.
Here's an emergency number to call. The main boss. I can't find his name here, but he sort of looks like Skeletor with a mustache.
I mean, he's only in it for like not even 2 minutes.
Right. He's in the beginning at the end of the film, and she is constantly getting these. Go ahead.
This guy directed or produced Midnight Meat Train.
Oh wow. Okay, so that was good. Actually,
Anthony de Blasio, which is actually a pretty good movie from what I remember.
What if this was directed by Mayor Bill de Blasio of New York City?
That would be cool.
He's like, I want more people to have rights to go to the restrooms whenever they want, and that's just what the movie's about. And like cleaning up the subway. Yeah. The main character.
Honestly, there have been times where I've been on the subway and I get off a stop that I don't even have to because I have to pee so bad, and you can't find a bathroom. Like, it's insane.
I give up that there's bathrooms in the fucking train station. I swear to you, I don't know how I did it.
Oh, I mean, it would be like, filthy as fuck, but like, if you gotta go, you gotta go.
I was horribly drunk, and like, I don't know how the fuck I got home. And I walked in between the cars, drunk.
Oh shit, that's scary.
Yeah, I know, and there's plenty of people who weren't drunk and fallen in between the cars, and I don't know how the fuck I did it. I don't know how I did it. Anyway, back to this film. So she's been getting phone calls from a girl named Monica. I forgot what the last name is. Monica
Lewinsky.
Yeah, it was Monica Lewinsky. She's like
Monica Young. I think her name is Monica Young.
Listen, help me! And you, oh baby, you this. Oh,
you hear the saxophone in the background.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then you like that, and then you hear Arsenio Hall going, "Yeah, man, that's the best, man." That's a very rare joke. Anyway, it was so funny because speaking about that now, that Bill Clinton actually came out in an interview saying that he did that to relieve stress when he was getting blowjobs in the Oval Office.
Shit.
He said that because he said he
I know. I'm saying no shit. Of course.
Well, and what was the thing in?
Why would anybody get a blowjob?
And the thing in Jeffrey Epstein's to have a power over other person. And Jeffrey Epstein saw that he had a painting in his house of Bill Clinton in the dress with the stains on it.
No, what?
He did. There was photos of inside Jeffrey Epstein's house, and it was
that
like
real?
Yeah. It was like a painting, like a portrait of Bill Clinton in a dress, in the Monica Lewinsky dress.
Was it him or was it Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself?
Was it him or Roger Stone? I don't know. One of those two guys. They had a portrait of it. You got to look online, but it's a funny painting.
I don't want to see it. Go on.
So anyway,
let's talk about last shift. So
this girl Monica keeps calling her, and for some reason I kept thinking about Monica from Friends, like Monica just calling her. Monica saying, "Oh, I need help. She doesn't say what's going on. She doesn't say what's happening. We find out that for the first half an hour, I was like, it was sufficiently
tension,
obtuse. And creepy enough that you don't know what's going on, and it's believable.
And then it just turns into like a lot of jump scares.
Yeah, but the scares are believable enough that you wouldn't run out of a building within the first half an hour. But then, like right after that first half an hour happens, when a turn happens, and she talks to a fucking police officer, and he walks around with half of his head gone from the back.
Yeah, I'd definitely be like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, what's so difficult about that? Like, because, she's basically afraid of losing her job because she calls up the main asshole boss, and he's like, you telling me you don't want to... Like, did none of it... Like, another cop told her that,
if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, okay, I'll get a different job. Like...
then,
you know what? I'd be like, listen, I feel really sick. I don't care. I wouldn't care.
Would that be interesting? Would it be interesting if the first half an hour was her being a cop and she gets scared out of the building, and then the next hour of the film is her delivering pizzas for like Papa John's or something, and that's it?
But like people are jumping out of the door with like their faces ripped open and stuff to grab their pizzas.
That reminds me. The other thing about this film is that I never saw it because I didn't realize it was this old of a movie. That was from 2014. Boy, does the time fly. The cover for the film looks like a fucking what is that band? Cradle of Filth album. It looks like a cheap
Which one though? Because right now I'm looking at the girl.
It looks
on
like
the
any
wall.
Cradle of Filth fucking album. It just looks like a cheap, like, oh man, look at us, we're scary. Oh boy.
Yeah, it kind of has that vibe.
Like I see another poster now that's on the IMDb page.
Yeah, I'm looking at the one on Wiki, which has like the girl on the floor.
That looks like more of like a Saw kind of poster. Like just like weird sort of. Dirty,
and then the other one's like the cross face one, right?
So yeah, and it's interesting. I don't think I've seen that one, but it's like an interesting sort of film for the first half an hour. Then she goes into a room where a couple of televisions pop open with the interviews of this I forget what do they call the
The
Payton family?
Payman or something.
Which
Yeah.
I think is that the same name of the monster from Hereditary? Remember?
Yeah, it's the same demon.
Oh, is it? Okay, that's what I was
Yeah.
wondering because
He's like a king of hell or something.
right,
in
right,
like
right.
Goetia.
Oh, it is. It is. They just changed the I to the Y.
Yeah. Well, I think you could
that's
spell
what
it
we're
a few ways,
assuming.
honestly.
Oh, okay. But like
Yeah.
that's when I was like, well, that's it. I checked out because of the overacting and people sound like it. It was like, oh my god! Like if the director's name was Edward Gilson, so you can nickname him Ed G because it's an edgy film. That was a stretch for a joke.
That was
But
good.
boy, oh boy, was
Very
that
clever.
it was so fucking edgy. Oh my god, I was
Yeah.
like rolling my because this is like something that like this type of like scary quote unquote scary stuff. You know, they try to spook somebody. Like I
Yeah.
can imagine a guy who like watches wrestling 24. Not that I have anything against people that watch wrestling, but like
No, I know what you're saying.
some
It's very
fucking you know
unsubtle.
some real like there's smart people that watch wrestling, but there's like stupid people.
You've
also
dug
that
yourself
watch,
in a hole now. There's a lot of people
like
that
they
watch
just
wrestling.
watch they're easily amused, and I can imagine them going, "Hey Cletus, watch this scene, man, oh man, is it frightening?" You know that kind of thing. Like it's just like
Yeah.
scared, like they're scared or they get
See,
boners watching this. Do you know what I mean? Like
They should have done the scene at the end in the beginning, the scene where she shoots the windows to try to get out and then can't.
right.
Because then they could have had an explanation for why this stupid person sees a man levitate from the floor and then still just sits. Look, and then she says, "Oh, I think I'm drugged or hallucinating." It's like, okay, well, still leave. Like,
Yeah.
if I thought I was drugged and tripping and seeing all these things, I would go to a hospital. I wouldn't
Right,
stay
or
in
call the cop. I would call the cops over and be like, "Listen, there's a problem here." You know, it'd be like that. Like, is it?
I wouldn't
really
even do that. I would just fucking leave and,
Because, like-
drive to a hospital or call an ambulance or whatever.
But the acting of the two women that are like I guess the payment girls,
Yeah.
so horrible. They're like, she's like,
They're kinda
I
hot,
hit her with
though.
her bat, and her teeth were stuck in her head. And I was like, oh boy. And the other guy is like it seems like they took these characters out of a cheap Rob Zombie movie. Like, you know how
Yeah. That's
like
true.
like the
I
Firefly
totally know what
family,
you're saying.
like the Firefly family is actually good actors. In like I believe those people are scumbags. Even his horrible acting wife. Is
Yeah, she's
somewhat
okay.
believable. But in this, they were like, imagine like if you know how she acts in other movies, Sherry Moon Zombie, like that's
She's
how
like
they acted
hit or
in this
miss.
film.
She's very hit or miss.
Right, and oh boy, watch 31. Like miss is not even the fucking adjective for that.
I
Or
skipped
verb
it because
for it.
I was so excited, and then everybody said it was so bad. I was like, I
It
don't
was
even want to see it.
outrageous.
I'm
It's
just gonna be
outrageous
sad.
how bad that movie is. But anyway, so yeah, it's just like, hey, you ever smashed a person's face in and they gurgle up blood? And I'm like, oh boy, like what?
It's
kind
like
of stupid shit
like
is
what
this?
I as like a goth teenager would have.
Yeah, like oh, the darkness of my soul, like that kind of stupid shit. And they tried
Yeah.
to go for it with this, and I'm like trying to think of who's actually like. To me, it's like the edginess in what was that? Chrome Head Laid to Rest. You remember that movie with the skeleton mask guys?
Yeah,
where,
yeah.
Like the first one, he was just like he would open
God,
up
I hated.
caskets with
I really think I hated those movies. I don't
when,
remember.
when he would
But
open
thinking
up
back
caskets.
on it, I definitely don't like it.
He was opening a caskets, and then there was like naked women in there for him to mutilate, and it's just like, oh, like I understand what this is about.
Well,
This
it's like
looks-
Strangeland. You remember Strangeland?
but I thought about that movie for some reason too. Before that.
I love that movie.
I
It's
love
one of
that
my
movie
favorite
too.
movies.
It's
But
a horrible
horrible.
movie, but I love that movie, and I don't know
Yeah.
why they can't. Like, it doesn't have the campiness in like here that
Because this movie
Strangeland
takes
does.
itself too seriously.
And the thing is, Juliana Harkavy is actually a very good actor, so
Yeah.
you kind of stick with her, and you're like, okay, but it's just like it's so unbelievable because the
The
way
cop
she,
was a good actor too. The one
nice
whose head
guy,
was
right?
blown
The guy
out.
that was
Yeah.
sort of flirting with her, yeah.
Well, his
yeah.
head was—he was a ghost, but whatever.
Right, and I guess that was her dad's partner, and I mean, it's just like, what do you think was enough? It got me once. That I'll say. The part when she's running after the homeless guy, and she gets
Yeah.
smashed in the face with the baton.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, he reaches his hand out of the door and hits her in the face. Like that part, I was like, oh fuck! Like it actually got me. But the rest of it, it was like she's looking at a floor and
jump
then all these,
scares. jump scares kind of always get me. I'm like
Okay. Well, I mean,
a
that's what
little.
design. Yeah, you can't really.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like some people don't get phased by it, but for me, I'm always like, oh shit, like, and I do get
Right.
like actually a little tense, like a little knot in my stomach, which I like that feeling.
I
But
get.
like, it's still cheap, and I'm aware it's cheap, you know.
I'm usually like jump scares get me when it's like silent, which is like 99% of jump scares, I guess. But a lot of them are like music, and music dictates what happens, and a lot of that happens in this
Yeah,
film. And like there's a scene where she's looking out on the floor, and there's all this photos of the crime scene where her father and his partner got killed, and the
and
girls
then they're all
and
like
they
laid out.
oh
And
that did
shit.
that also reminded me why I brought up laid to rest, because there's like photos of girls in their panties and bra like dead
Mhm.
with the worst Photoshop blood spatter effects on them, because I guess they didn't want to cover these women in blood. It's
Why?
just
Like,
like
why do people Photoshop blood? It's literally corn syrup and food
I
coloring. Just
guess they didn't want to waste their time cleaning up, I
waste their
guess.
time. It takes fucking 10 minutes.
So, but it was just like all photos of girls in their panties and bras, and I'm like, these are like the most like cleanest looking panties and bras. Like they just got them out of fucking Victoria's Secret that day to wear them, even though these
Right.
women are apparently tortured or some shit like that. And it was just like, oh,
Well,
come
maybe
on.
the murderer took really good care to not mess up their panties and bras.
What was the worst jump scare in this film for you?
Like scary or just dumb?
Just dumb, the worst, stupidest one.
I don't know. There's like so
The
many.
girl, the
Honestly,
little girl who's like spider walking, the ghost of Monica, the one who got smashed in the
yeah.
face with a bat. That wasn't her. I like that it wasn't her on the phone. That it was
When she was under the desk, that actually did scare me.
okay,
Like, not scare. Scare is the wrong word. Startle.
right.
Like, it has a lot of cheap shit like that in it, but it
There's
is
some
like
bad.
very edgy.
There's some bad digital effects in this film too, like the part where the homeless guy's like, "Get me out of here, man! Get me out of here!" And you see the ghosts of the people with like they look sort of cool with those masks. Like they have these sort of bags on their head where you can see their teeth through them.
I
Like
guess.
that looks interesting, but like in motion, it looks a little bit ridiculous. Now that you know what the backstory is, because it's like okay, so it's a three hillbillies, and they're so evil because they killed women. Like they get to possess a fucking building after a year. Like that's when their strongest powers are.
Right.
For what? What
The
is
last
this? Like,
shift.
come on, man. Like, come on. Like it's
They were
so.
having their last hurrah.
It's just like so. All right, whatever. Like the saving point of this movie is just following the main actress, but they put her in such unbelievable situation. The problem is that she's such a
She's
good
just.
actor.
They make her so stupid.
Right. She's such a good actor, and she's so competent in the first like 15 minutes of the film, and then she just gets dumber and more gullible by the end of the movie.
No,
That you're like,
nobody in the world
yeah.
would see even one of the things she saw and not run screaming from the building. Like,
'Cause, like,
if
cops
I
are
was
supposed to
okay,
be-
put it this way: in the very beginning, if I was in a locker room and I looked around after looking at something and every locker was open, I'd be fucking running out with piss
Right.
down my pants.
Which which is a nice first effect because she thinks it's a joke. Like 20 things like this happen.
Who
before
could
she
do a
says-
joke like that?
Here's the thing:
It's not impossible.
they pull a thing right out of fucking Poltergeist, where she goes out of a room and there's like a couple of chairs, and then they're like in some sort of weird statue,
yeah.
right? Like in a stack. And she
Yeah,
goes,
that is
hey guys,
Poltergeist,
that's
you're
pretty
right.
funny. And I'm like, oh, that's so funny. I'm like, how's that a joke? Like, there was nobody in the room for you to see that. That would
There
be
could
a
have
joke.
been. It would have taken like 20 ninjas the ability to do something like that. Like they would have had to have like a team of ninjas.
And cops are supposed to, deal with any situation and keep a level head, but this is beyond that. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is beyond, like, reason. Like, if I saw this stuff, she sees 20 different things at alone, I'd be like, wait a minute, I gotta get out of here. This is too much. Do you
There's
know
a
what I mean?
man levitating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That was near the ending when the guys.
I really liked that.
I did
part,
like that
though.
effect though, but I think that was also something out of Nightmare on Elm Street, right? I think it was out of Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake.
I mean,
or something like that.
you can't
she
copyright
sees like
that.
she sees like a person on the floor, and then their body starts floating into the air. I remember that, and I'm thinking, what the fuck? Like, I'd run out of there because the thing's it's floating after her, doing those weird, cheap, fast forward, rewind motions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she still stays to investigate. I'd be like, no way. And the only thing that I liked was that, well, the only time when it got some sort of like interesting again is the last 10 minutes when they keep saying throughout the
she
film,
kills all the hazmat people?
right, because they throughout the film they say, oh, some of the followers survived. So I thought it was some sort of raid at the end, which was interesting. I was like, oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
I definitely was surprised by that.
Like, I thought it was going to be some sort of, like, you're next sort of thing, where it's just a cop fucking blasting. Because I was like, you need something at the end of this movie. And it's a good idea. It's just a fucking 40 minutes coming up to that part was a pain in the ass
really,
to watch.
I did say this a lot, but they should have cut this movie in half.
Oh, yeah. It should have just been the first half an hour and the last 10 minutes. That's a better movie.
Like, they could have even had some of those other things happen, but it should have been, like, way more compressed.
And I like the fact that it wasn't it was the place driving her nuts. Like, and if they explained what was wrong with the building, that would make sense too. Like, if this place had been old and, a bunch of shit had happened. But this only happened, like, in a year. In a year, a guy could die and it becomes possessed by evil forces. Get the fuck out of here. Not that, you're supposed to suspend your disbelief for shit like this anyway. But I was like, come on, get the fuck out of here. And then, like, and she kills all those guys at the end, and her boss, who's pissed off, shoots her at the end, and, like...
What's that movie that Rose Matter?
Rose Red?
Rose Red, yeah.
Right.
That was a fun one.
Rose Matter?
Of a haunted house. Rose Matter's another book he wrote, I believe.
Okay. Rose Matter.
About
that's
abused
Rose...
woman that goes inside a painting.
I think that's Lizzie's story, isn't it? Or Rose is something? No, you're right. Rose something. Yeah.
Rose Matter.
Rose Matter. Rose Matter.
That's what he fucking said.
No, for some reason I thought you said Rose Matter with Matter. You know, like
no matter.
You know, when people say all lives matter, I was like, what is this? I thought you were getting political.
No, roses matter.
I get it.
That's the flower version of.
And it's an interesting sort of ending finale, and so maybe they left it open for her to, like, there was obviously no sequel to this film, and I thought they left it open for, like, a sequel, so if she survived it, but she would go to jail or some shit, obviously. But I did like the last 10 minutes, and I liked the first half an hour, but boy, does it take a while in those middle 40 minutes of just, like, who gives a fuck? Like, it's just like the most, like I'm sure this could scare somebody. Like, I'm sure it could, and, there are people who are not... You and I have seen hundreds and hundreds of horror films already. So we know, like, oh, okay, this is like, by the darkness of the night. You know, that kind of
shit. Yeah.
Like,
we know the formulas.
You know the formula. You know when people try to act all sort of spooky. That's why I think you and I enjoy more sort of toned down horror. Like, it's more... Like, it's not like... We like over-the-top horror, but I...
No, I like
subtle,
over-the-top,
but... Not like
intelligent.
Not yeah, right. Not like twirling your mustache horror, where it's like, oh, this is the most evil play. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, keep going on, just going with the splatterfest. Who cares? Anyway, so what rating would you give this film? You always know it's gonna be good when you go yuck.
I guess I'm gonna give it a 5. 5 out of 10. Seeing a man that you were just talking to for 10 minutes. And the back of his head is blown out, and you just, continue to sit in your chair and not run in fear.
I would give this a 5.1 out of 10. The true horror of watching those, what are they when they interview a suspect? What are those called?
Interrogation
videotapes with the worst acting in horror history. That's the real horror of this movie. That poor girl having to see those actings from those 3 actors. So with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Hugland.